Hi everyone, it's Lisa here today to talk about SEO madness. Now, what is SEO? Why am I titling this SEO madness? Well, for those of you who don't know, SEO stands for search engine optimization, which is the process of ranking your pages of your website or your blog, the process of getting those pages ranked well in popular sites like Google, Yahoo, Live, all the major search engines. That's what SEO stands for. And I'm calling this SEO madness because I still get a sense, particularly among newbies, people just getting started, that people are frantically looking for some magical formula that they need to use in order to get their pages ranked high in Google. And if they don't get traffic in the first 2 or 3 months, they must be doing something terribly wrong, and there's some formula out there that's going to help them hit the SEO jackpot. Now, first of all, let me tell you guys a little story. As many of you know, I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I remember back, I think InfoSeek was one of the popular search engines back in like 1998. And it wasn't as popular as Google, because there weren't as many people searching the web back then, but I would say it probably had the popularity of maybe Live, MSN's search engine, in terms of how many people used it every day. So it was still a pretty popular engine. And I remember I was able to create a doorway page. And a doorway page was basically a one-page website that you could load up with keywords, load up your meta tags with a keyword you wanted to rank high for. And within a day or two, I think InfoSeek updated their algorithm every 48 hours. So within a day or two, you could have a #1 ranking for almost any keyword you wanted to. I had the #1 ranking in InfoSeek for home employment, just basically by building a doorway page. I mean, guys, hey, I told my friends 10 years ago, I said, get in on this stuff now, because it's going to get harder and it's going to get a lot more challenging in years to come. Boy, has it ever. So those days of creating a page, you know, in 10 seconds and getting it ranked in a popular engine just like that, they're gone. And of course there's always the programmer that has learned how to manipulate Google's algorithm or Yahoo's algorithm and can get a page ranked quickly. But all of those sneaky techniques, they may get you somewhere in the short term, but if you're doing dishonest and sneaky stuff like that, it's just not worth it, because over time, Google is going to catch up with you, Yahoo is going to catch up with you, and you'll end up being penalized. So you might as well do it the right way. And what is the right way? Well, I know there's a lot of buzz about meta tags, and you gotta have so many keywords, you gotta have so many times you mention your main keyword in your description. I don't stress over my meta tags like I did 10 years ago, because quite frankly they're only a small piece of the puzzle. And I know so many people are always trying to figure out how many keywords should I have if I'm trying to rank high for this keyword, and how many times should I mention this keyword on this page. Don't stress yourself out over that kind of stuff anymore, guys. This is what I do. If I'm trying to rank high for a specific phrase or a keyword on my website, I create my meta tags, because you should always create meta tags for every page you create. And if you don't know what meta tags are, you can Google them, or actually on my other YouTube channel, To Create a Website, I have a video that shows you how to install them. I'm not going to go into what they are here, but if you know about SEO, you probably do know about meta tags. But what I do is I try to use the word or the phrase that I am most trying to target once in my title, maybe once in my description, and once in my keyword. And then maybe when I write my pages, I may mention it once in the opening paragraph. But after that, I just write like I'm writing any other paper, like I was writing a research paper for college. I don't sit there and count my keywords. I don't sit there and track what my keyword density is, which is the correlation or the ratio of how many keywords you have on your page versus how many times you mention that keyword. There used to be a time where you would actually calculate your keyword density, and people could kind of figure out, well, Google looks for a 1.3 keyword density and Yahoo looks for a 2.6 keyword density. And back in the day, people actually figured that kind of stuff out. And it worked. But of course, the engines adjust. They realize that, you know, people were manipulating the system. And so now it's getting even harder to just rank high for certain keywords just by manipulating data, which I think is a very good thing, because that means now pages that are ranked high are not necessarily ranked high because the owner has manipulated content or keywords. They're ranked high now because other people are voting for that site, for that keyword. And what I mean by that is search engine optimization now is primarily about popularity. If you say your site is about home employment by putting home employment all through your meta tags and your body, that's great. But what Google wants to know is, okay, you're telling us your site's about home employment and that's what you want to rank high for, but how many other relevant or quality or popular sites on home employment are actually linking to you with the keywords home employment and everything related to home employment? They don't care as much about what you're saying your site is about, because anybody could load up a page with keywords all over the place, but it's about what other sites are doing. So if you can't get a lot of other quality, relevant websites to link to you using the keywords you want to target, then it's going to be quite difficult to rank high, particularly for competitive keywords. Now, you may find that you'll start ranking for some less competitive keywords. Like, you know, I kind of chuckle a little bit when people get excited when they rank, you know, #1 on Google for their website's name. But if their website's name is something very unique and not something people are going to search for, that's not really a big deal, because people aren't searching. I mean, if your website is Milky Way Galaxy 3007 and you type that in and you're ranking #1 for that, well, there's not a lot of people probably using that same title. So yeah, of course you're going to rank high for that. But the traffic really comes in when you start ranking high for competitive keywords that people are actually searching for. That's what you want to work on. So those of you out here who are doing these linking schemes or focusing so much on link exchanges, in my opinion, are pretty much dead. That doesn't mean if, you know, you see a good site out there and you say, wow, this would be of good value to my customers, let me link to them. And then maybe the webmaster will say, oh, hey, I see you linked to my site, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put a link back to your site as well. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But if you are out here seeking, you know, as many link exchanges as you can do and just contacting webmasters left and right saying, you know, hey, I have a site that's similar to yours, let's swap links. The engines pretty much ignore those now because they know people are using link exchanges to try to boost their inbound links. So the links that count the most in the search engine's eyes are the one-way links. This is when somebody doesn't even tell you. They just, you know, love your site. Maybe they have a site related to yours. The topic, the theme is related. And they're just writing a blog post or an article on their website. And they just say, hey, check out XYZ. And they link to you. And this site, let's say, is fairly popular for this niche. Those are the kind of links you want because it's a one-way link. And Google says, okay, this person has just gotten a one-way link from another site related to their theme, their niche, but they didn't have to link back in return. Those type of one-way links are the best kind. Now, another thing that I notice people get obsessed about is, you know, how many times should I link out to somebody else, and will I get penalized if I link to somebody else's site, you know, too much? I wouldn't worry about that. Now, if you have a site, let me just preface and say this. If you have a site that does not have a lot of your own unique content, and you're just linking to a bunch of different sites because you don't have content yourself, then that's not good, because Google is, first of all, not going to know what your site is about because you got so many outbound links, you don't have any content yourself. But if you've got a site and you've got a good share of people linking to you voluntarily, and you have a page where you want to link to other helpful sites to help your audience, that's fine. Don't worry about, oh, what is Google going to think because I'm linking to these sites. Guys, I don't stress out over, you know, how many times I'm linking out to somebody or how many times people are linking in. My main focus is creating content that I know people will value, and then hopefully over time people will then link to me, and that will help my link juice or popularity in the long run. Now, I will say I have a huge advantage because my site, To Create a Website, is nearly 7 years old now. And in website years, it's kind of like dog years. You multiply that by 7, my site's ancient compared to a lot of you guys. And I also have an advantage with the search engines because my site is old. It's got a lot of links from, the past 6, almost 7 years, and the content is updated frequently. So I have a huge advantage to many of you guys. So if you're just getting started, don't spend so much time worried about, how many meta tags or how many keywords am I supposed to use in my meta tags. Definitely use your meta tags. You should always put meta tags in every page. But your main focus is developing an identity for your site, developing a unique spin for your site, and make people want to link to you. Instead of going out here saying, hey, and trying to find Joe Webmaster and say, hey, let's just exchange links. Forget about that. If you work hard at developing a site in your niche that is unique, it's different, you got your own flavor, your own personality, you'll be surprised over time how many people will just link to you voluntarily. And what did I just mention? Those one-way links, that's the best kind of link juice that you could ever have because they're linking to you, but you're not having to link to them. And in the search engine's eyes, that's saying, wow, that gives your site a bunch of street cred, if you will, because the search engines are saying, wow, these people are just linking to this site and this site is not having to link back. So that must mean this is a pretty good, quality, credible site for this keyword phrase because of all these inbound links. So for those of you guys who are sitting at home and you're counting your meta keyword tag and how many keywords you got in, and you're stressing out over what's the right amount of content for every page, you drive yourself silly doing that. I never do that. I do put my meta tags in. I make sure I use my main keyword, in the title and the description. But after that, I just write. And I write for the humans to read my page, not for the search engine spiders to read my page. And I just let the chips fall where they may. I don't have all these crazy tools where I'm tracking, okay, today I'm ranking high for this keyword. I do keep abreast of, my search engine rankings overall. But in terms of stressing out over every single page, it's just not worth it. You'll find that if you just work hard at building a quality site and use the basic SEO guidelines like for the meta tags, you will be fine in the long run. So hopefully that has eased your mind a little bit about the SEO madness that's going on. Guys, don't lose sleep over it. Just build your site for humans to read. Don't worry about the search engines. If it's a good quality site, you'll be amazed at what will happen in the years to come. So good luck, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.